Hey guys, welcome back to even more of this, whatever this is. So, with this episode, I want to talk about a game I literally don't see anyone talk about. I mean, zero. For whatever reason, this is an old property, so it makes sense on why certain things would be forgotten. But everyone talks about the franchise and some of its games, but I've only ever seen like one person talk about this game. So I want to bring a little bit of light onto that particular game, or I should say games, as there were two of them. It was a game for the SEGA Game Gear. I loved this thing growing up. It ate all your batteries, and you got 4 hours of gameplay, I think. It ate batteries. I remember I played it more plugged in than I actually did with batteries, because my parents wouldn't pay for the batteries, which made sense. They're very expensive, even with rechargeable ones. Back in the day, they weren't very good. But yeah, if you guys remember the Game Gear, this thing actually isn't as bad as I remember, because I was goofing around with the games a little earlier today as I was thinking about it. This is the same one I had as a kid. It still works. I do know I need to get repairs done to it, as I had one repair guy say he wants to see my system just to change out the capacitors, because they should be bad, but apparently I've got decent ones if they haven't exploded already. But it does still work, and they haven't exploded. System's still solid. But with this system... that's gonna sit. There are two games. As you can tell by my shirt. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The movie game, and just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. These games are solid for two stupid little, I should say, versus beat-em-up games. They tried to emulate, like, an 8-bit Street Fighter to a degree, which was really awesome. There's a lot of basic combos, your half-turns and stuff like that, but these games in particular aren't anything... They're pretty, actually, you know what? They're pretty spectacular for being especially an 8-bit fighting game. So what it is they generally just threw putties at you, and you would beat one up, and then another one would fly in. So as you're constantly fighting them, it's constantly turning you around, and making me kind of ignore the fact that I'm not, like, side-scroll beat-em-up. This is like a versus beat-em-up where they keep throwing little guys at you until the final boss shows up. You do a bunch of combos, beat him up, summon the Megazord, and then beat them up. And what's cool, especially in... is it this one? In the first one, me and my brothers always loved the fact that they actually threw in, you could play as the Dragon Zord and the Mega Dragon Zord, where they abandoned the Red Ranger and built an even better Megazord, because that was super dope. And that was only in this version. The Green Ranger Saga was in here, so you beat him, and then he joined you halfway through the campaign. Fantastic little 8-bit beat-em-up game that was only on the Game Gear. It never actually got ported even to the Master System in Europe, but I don't really know what Power Rangers are like in Europe. But super cool game. And then the sequel was more of the same. This was a very similar game. Obviously, it came out in 1995 when the movie came out. But I remember playing it, and it was very similar to the first one. Obviously, instead of the Green Ranger, you get the White Ranger. And instead of putties, it's all of Ivan Ooze's, like, purple things that you fought in the movie. But a lot of fun for these games. Like, I don't even think these games are that expensive, but people kind of forgot they existed, because you'll see people review all the Power Ranger games, but no one talks about the two Game Gear ones. I don't get it. They're really good. I love them to pieces, even to this day. Like, I've had my oldest brother who couldn't care about video games anymore. I showed him I found the Game Gear and got it working. He sat down, I don't know which one he played, but he was laughing and just playing the game all night. Like, these games were tons of fun to just waste, like, an hour or two. Like, they're not long. They're Game Gear games. Come on. But for what they are, they're fantastic little pieces of Power Ranger history that, for whatever reason, just got lost. And I think it's more to do with the fact that it was on the Game Gear, and not a lot of people had Game Gears. But I love this system. These were two of my favorite games for this little system. If you guys ever get the chance, or you see them, and you're kind of interested in, like, good Game Gear games, because nowadays it's a little tricky which ones are still good, as some of the screen crunch is really bad. These games were specifically made for the Game Gear screen in mind, so it actually works really, really well. But guys, that's my thoughts on the Power Rangers for the Game Gear. If, you guys have any recommendations of other Power Ranger games that have come out over the years, because I know there were the ones on the Super Nintendo, there was the ones on the Sega CD, the Genesis. Power Rangers was everywhere in the early 90s. Leave a comment down below, and take care. Have a good one.